Hi guys, it's Shami. I'm so happy you're here. So I am showing you these backgrounds that I created on Instagram. I know we all have problems with creating easy backgrounds for our art journal. So I'm going to start out just by painting a piece of paper with black paint. I do have black cardstock, but I really love just the boldness of actually painting paper with black. So I have some left over, so I'm just going to put that in my journal. I had recorded this where I was talking through it because I was going to have a long video for you guys with some really simple art journaling ideas that you can add. But of course, my microphone was not turned up. So I'm going to do a voiceover. So this one I did just by dripping some watered down acrylic, and I have these letters that I got from Hobby Lobby, black and white. They were super cheap. They were on sale, so I'm just going to use those. I decided to use the big ones, and I'm going to make a list page, but kind of in a different way. I love adding lists to my art journal. It's such a great way to add background. So I'm going to put yes, and then I'm going to write down all the things that I want to say yes to. So these stickers work very, very well for this kind of technique. In general, I love all stickers, but especially alpha stickers. So I'm just going to add them to my journal, and then I'm going to turn my page, and in between the drips I am going to add the things that I am saying yes to. So more rest because I am definitely a workaholic, more art because I want to make art just for me, because I do a lot of videos and stuff but in classes, but I definitely need to make time to just create art for me too. Walking, I've been enjoying walking. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I'll share like pictures from some of my walks, whether indoors or outdoors. I love this little park by our house, so I use that a lot too. So that pen stopped working. This is acrylic paint pen. You can see the review video too. I'll attach it if you're interested in that. And then I have peace, just letting things go, being peaceful because I can get a little anxious about things. And the next one is time for friends, because sometimes when I get busy, I'm not the best at that. So I want to make more time for that and say yes to that. And then I also wanted to say yes to saying no sometimes. And then also too, good food. I have a problem with my esophagus, so sometimes I can't eat well, like I have to eat pureed foods and stuff for periods of time. So I'm enjoying cooking again. It seemed to have passed, but I'm still taking it really slow. So I'm going to just add just some dashes to these letters, and that is the page. You'll see that I'm going to come in and add splatters and fill in some of the letters because I couldn't help myself. So I'm just going to dry that off, and then we'll move on to this page. This was made with markers. I use a cardstock, so I did brush on clear gesso before I started this background, and I'm just gonna make some funny looking faces. There was this creative bug class, and this art journaler did this where she just makes a bunch of faces, and I'm gonna use different pens and just scribble them. I started out just by making just using one line, so I tried not to like actually physically draw it, but just try to stay on the lines in order to make these faces. So I'm just going to use a big Sharpie, and then I have this one that works out great. If you're going to use the marker trick, and you can see all these backgrounds on my Instagram, I'll have it linked below too. Just make sure that you use watercolor paper. I think that's better than using the gesso because it did bleed a little bit too. So you can just use some watercolor paper, and that works really, really well. And the trick is not to let the marker dry out. It still needs to be where you can like smush it around with water. But markers are awesome, and you can use them to create beautiful backgrounds. And they're on sale right now because it's back to school. So I think you should go get a pack if you don't, or take your kids. That's totally fine. They'll understand. And then I am going to use my paint pen here. I love this paint pen, so I'm going over there, over that. Very, very nice shapes, and I'm just going to start layering them. I get a little bit faster, a little loose, a little bit more crazy, and I love it. And then I'm going to add white pen, and that just kind of brings them alive. Of course, I can draw a face better than this if I'm kind of taking my time, but I like to have fun with it because I can get totally stiff when I'm doing faces, and this is just a really good creative practice. So I do this. It's just about having fun. You can do this with kids. They absolutely love it, and you can just make some funny faces. So it's good. And I love that one on the edge, the right edge. That's my favorite one. So you can even name these people, which would be awesome too. So there's a lot that you can do, but it looks really cool on background, on a really nice background. So it's fun. I had a good time just doodling some faces. Literally, this only took me about 30 minutes to do all 3 of these pages. I'm just going to add some white to the eyes. So when you make your backgrounds in advance, it does help your creative practice. I think it helps you to create more because you don't have to worry about a background. I'm just adding some squiggly lines with a white acrylic paint pen. So very, very easy. I'm very loose. You'll see that I'm not holding the pen tight or anything. But when you have these backgrounds ready, it does make creating a lot faster. So let's go to, I have these printables that I created, so I'm going to cut them out. I think I have a set in my Etsy store too, but it just says a bunch of cool stuff. I think it says we rise by lifting each other up. I think that's what this page says. So it's lots of faces, so I thought they support each other in my little world, so they're going to get that word. Okay, so let's move on to this part. I'm going to fill in some of the open spaces in my letters. I love doing this. I think it just makes the page come alive. I added splatters, but I wish that I didn't. So I may take a screenshot of this one, but I really loved how this looked without the splatters, but what can you do? And then for this page, I'm going to do some free writing. So I'm just making sure that the page is dry and just free write about whatever you want. I'm taking an acrylic pen. It's going to be messy. I hold the pen back and you'll see here that I'm making lots of hand gestures. That's because I was explaining in detail what I was doing and I didn't realize that it was not recording. But yeah, so I just got some stuff out that I needed to. Which is always great. So, and what kind of happens is when you do this process and you just allow yourself to just write about the things that are upsetting you or your anxieties, there's just a phrase that comes out in this process. So I just kept repeating that too, which is we're all doing the best that we can, because I was a little bit disappointed in someone for a couple weeks. So I just needed to kind of release that and just realize that we're all human and we can't control people, and yeah, there's nothing I can do. So I need to just let it go and be at peace. And then I'm going to glue my heart down. So you're just going to fold it in half and just cut out a heart like you learned in kindergarten. I had the best kindergarten and first grade teacher. They were awesome. So it brought back memories of her when I glued down my little heart. And then I'm going to grab that list and I'm going to add a word to that too. And I forgot what it said. I think it said something about peace or something. I don't know. I have to look at the page, but you'll see in the pictures. But I'm gluing that down too. And that is basically it, guys. I mean, this was super fun. Tell me if you want more of these videos. I will try to do some in real time, and I'm going to work on that other page, maybe on my Instagram. I'm going to add some splatters. So you'll see here that I will mess up my beautiful page that I love. And very quickly, I'm going to grab something to soak it up. But yeah, it looks painterly. We'll say that. And then I'm going to add splatters here too. So I hope this gives you lots of ideas. Thank you so much for being with me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And please share this video with a friend. It helps me out so much. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.